Someone says, is my NDA over? No, it is not. I'm still very much under contract, and I'm still very much under a non-disclosure agreement. I've got to be very careful about what I say and how I say it. Otherwise, I can get sued into oblivion.
What I will say toward the Joss Whedon situation is obviously I put out some pretty strong words and some pretty strong comments about Joss Whedon, and every single one of those words, every single one of those comments is true. Whatever happens to me with respect to my career or whatever that is, I could not care less. I truly could not. Like I said, my lifestyle is simple. I don't need anything else except to be able to eat, live, and occasionally pretend like I'm a character of some sort in some capacity. On the John Berg side of things, his denial of the situation, right, his denial of the enabling of that situation was asinine, it was tone deaf, and it was completely disrespectful to the situation at hand. To the folks who have been maybe naysayers or detractors, I forgive you in advance. I do, because you don't know all the information. So that's fine. I get that. On the John Berg side of things, and if you keep in mind, he did not deny that there was any unprofessional behavior. He did not deny knowing about any unprofessional behavior. He said that we, meaning I'm assuming Jeff Johns and myself, we did not enable any unprofessional behavior.
Just a disclaimer there. So for the folks who are looking for more specifics in the moment right now, I'm sorry that I cannot give them to you in the moment right now. You just got to make sure all your ducks are laid out in a row so you can go ahead and handle the situation appropriately.
I don't have thin skin by any stretch. I've been in this business for 14 years.
It affects me personally, when it affects me financially, when it affects me professionally.
Right? I've dedicated every moment of my life to the pursuit of this.
If this thing is the only thing I'm blessed to do, I'd be fine with that, because it's what is going to be a wilder process than what this has been. You know, I've done TV, I've done film, I've done theater. The only thing I haven't done in theater is actually do a show on Broadway. Like, once I cross that off my list, man, like, I'm good. I can move on to another adventure and be okay, right?
What people may not know is that I was actually let go 10 years ago from a job for spearheading an effort to unionize employees at a job I was working at, right? Wow. So I don't play around when it comes to this kind of stuff. I didn't mind taking that L at that point. I don't mind taking an L now if I have to, if it gets justice for the situation as it stood. I've been in projects where, artistically speaking, I did not agree, but you do your work. You go there, you do it. But there is a certain amount of abuse. There's a certain amount of behavior that one is willing to tolerate. And once it gets beyond that point, you got to go ahead and deal with it. Now, it's taken me 2.5 years to get all the information I need to be able to build up something that's strong enough so people can't dismiss it. It's taken me this amount of time to go out there and say, hey, listen, would you be willing to speak if it was with anonymity and confidentially? And people going, yeah. So if I got to take the L, if I got to take the hit for this, I'll take it completely. But I guarantee you this, we're going to get to the heart of everything. And if anything I said about that man is untrue, I invite him wholeheartedly to sue me for libel, to sue me for slander.
We're gonna get this thing done. Let me tell you, we're going to get it done. It's just a matter of when. Keep in mind, there was a point in time when people did not believe that there was a Snyder Cut. All right. And so let's just go ahead and rock with that. I'm feeling optimistic about the whole situation because I know at the end of the day, regardless of what it is that I'm able to say or not say in this moment right now, there's no way that all this stuff does not come to light in some capacity.
Who's brave is Kai Cole, Joss's ex-wife, who said what she said with no backup by herself. This is not a new thing. It needs to get dealt with, and it will get dealt with if I've got anything to say about it.
Just give it some time. Stay strong.
And, recently, I had put out a tweet or retweeted a Variety article about my barber, who was actually, I call him my barber, but he was actually the barber for JL. He worked on myself and Joe Morton, and I think any man of color who needed barbering. And it was in response to that because we're going through a whole cultural shift right now. Like, everything's trying to figure out what it's going to be in this quote unquote post-corona, in the post-corona world of things. And people were speaking out about hairdressers and makeup artists and how they are affected with respect to lack of representation. And so I told a story about how Wayne Nembhard, who was the barber for Justice League, how he wasn't credited in the original version. And shout out to Charles Roven for attempting to rectify the situation once we had found out. He's definitely an ally in that way. But it was too late at that point to do anything about it, right? And so when I spoke to Zach about the Snyder Cut, I was like, hey, listen, man, like, would you mind? Would you mind if our barber? I was like, I know it's small potatoes to you, but like, would you mind if our barber got a credit in it? Like, he worked on the whole thing, and it's just not there. And he said, oh my god, he said, absolutely. Like, it's not even a question. Like, and it's not a director's job to talk about barbers and that kind of stuff. Like, and please don't conflate that situation with anything Joss Whedon related or Jeff Johns or John Berg related. That's not their job. That's not anything that they had anything to do with. You know what I mean? And I know some folks are conflating the two things, but
keep supporting one another, and do not let the trolls get to you. Please, please, my people, please. I know there's a lot of folks out there who want to go back and forth and, you know, argue with folks about that. I appreciate the love and support. I appreciate the protection. Just please don't waste your precious, precious energy, you know, arguing with folks, because that's all they're looking to do.